this is Delma. Welcome back to my channel of Books and Soul. So today I wanted to talk to you about the first book in a series that I have started many times and that I have not finished. And finally I got around to it. I finally finished all 7 books. I finally have the complete picture. I want to talk about these books. I really enjoyed them, and I think you can guess what the series is based on this box that's behind me. And today I wanted to talk to you about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I think I don't have to go over the plot too much. I think everybody knows more or less what the books are about. The story is basically about Harry, who seems to be a normal boy, but who actually finds out that he is a wizard. He is a wizard, and a famous one at that, because he is the only one who survives a killing curse from a horrible wizard, Voldemort. And this seems to be the end of Voldemort. He disappears, he's nowhere to be found, and Harry is famous. Everybody thinks he's a special boy precisely because he was able to defeat the greatest evil wizard of all times. Of course, in her books, Rowling deals with so many themes, mainly that of love, death, friendship, family, courage, bravery. All of these things are present in this book, and we also see them in the other books. And this one sets the stage, and this one is the introduction to the story. And I think one of the coolest things that J.K. Rowling does in this one is juxtaposition. And what I mean by that is that she takes one reality and then another reality that are completely different, and she uses that to really get her point across. One of these examples of juxtaposition is that of family. There are 2 families in this book that seem basically the opposite of one another. One of them is that of the Dursleys, and the other one is that of the Weasleys. The Dursleys are portrayed as obviously mean and horrible to Harry, but they are also shown as selfish. Dudley is spoiled. The family lives in its own little bubble. They're very comfortable in their middle class, kind of settled sort of lifestyle. They're very closed off, not open to new ideas, things. Everything has to be ordinary and normal, and there's just no room for surprises. That's the family that Harry grows up with. And then we have the family of the Weasleys, which is a complete contrast to that of the Dursleys. We have a family that's open, welcoming, even though it is poor. It's very big, it's giving, and it's definitely not an ordinary family. It's an extraordinary family, but also in its simple ways. The family is big, so all the kids have to learn how to share, how to maybe help each other. It's a completely different dynamic than that of the Dursleys, where the Weasleys are curious, they're just kind-hearted and warm. That's a family that Harry meets in the first book, even more so in the second one, but let's say he already encounters it in the first book. The other example of juxtaposition that is pretty striking in this book is that of friendship. So we have a little group of friends that forms in Hogwarts, where we have Harry, Hermione, and Ron. Of course, there's Neville and some other people here and there. And then we have this weird dynamic of friendship between Draco, Crabbe, and Goyle. In the first example, we see a friendship that really grows over time. Friendship where all of them are trying to be helpful to one another. In the biggest moment of crisis, let's say at the end of the book, they're willing to take sacrifices for one another, and also the ability to tell each other the truth and not be afraid to tell the other that they're doing something wrong. On the other hand, we have then Draco, Crabbe, and Goyle. There's a very weird dynamic where Draco is clearly the dominant figure. And so oftentimes there are instances of Draco using the other two. So there's not really kindness, it's more of selfishness and using one another instead of actually being friends. They can be mean to each other, they bully others. So there's just a lot of negativity in this group, which is a clear distinction from the first type of friendship that we see. Of course, in this first book, we get a glimpse at one of my favorite themes in the Harry Potter series, which is that of death and immortality, and the way J.K. Rowling really examines and explores this idea and this concept of death. In this book, we have the Philosopher's Stone, which is basically an elixir of life. It is something that will make whoever possesses it live forever. And so it has to be protected, it has to be guarded, because people want to live forever, seeing death as something that is undesirable. There is a fear of death, but no one fears death as much as Voldemort. No one wants to escape it as much as Voldemort. And in fact, I think it's interesting to point out that the name Voldemort actually comes from the French. J.K. Rowling plays with the name, and not this one only, but other ones as well, where it's Voldemort, which means escape from death. So even Voldemort's name indicates that is basically his life mission. He wants to be immortal and he wants to escape death. And so obviously this Philosopher's Stone is in danger from Voldemort. Voldemort, who's so obsessed with immortality that he is willing to, and J.K. Rowling symbolizes this very beautifully, even kill unicorns, which are this essence of innocence and purity, and they're just defenseless. And yet he's willing to even, kill in order to be alive. But what's great is that already in this book, J.K. Rowling hints that maybe there's something more powerful than death, some sort of magic that is just beyond. And so here she explores this theme of love as well, and sacrifice. There's also a moment in this book when also Harry is in danger of kind of standing on the threshold between life and death. And that is symbolized with the mirror of Erised, where he is so captivated by what he is seeing, by his family that passed away, that he is incapable of getting away from the mirror. And it takes Dumbledore to snap him out of it and kind of bring him back to not forget to actually live his life. I think there are some quotes that are really wonderful in this book, and I wanted to share them with you. Most of them are said by Dumbledore, wise Dumbledore, but not all. So let me share some of them with you. The first quote is that of Dumbledore when he meets Harry looking into the mirror of Erised. "It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Remember that." That same Dumbledore talks to Harry about death. "To one as young as you, I'm sure it seems incredible, but to Nicholas and Perenelle, it really is like going to bed after a very, very long day. After all, to a well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. The stone was really not such a wonderful thing. As much money and life as you could want. The two things most human beings would choose above all. The trouble is, humans do have a knack of choosing precisely those things which are worst for them." There's another one by Dumbledore on love. "To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever." Then we have Dumbledore again on courage. "It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends." Then there's one by Hermione on what really matters. "Books and cleverness, there are more important things. Friendship, bravery." And finally one, just because I really like it, even though it has nothing to do with what I was talking about in this video, but it's Dumbledore's quote on music. "Ah, music," he said, wiping his eyes, "a magic beyond all we do here." Okay, so that will be all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you very soon with the next book. Bye!